You've mentioned previously reading a lot of screenplays. Where do you find the screenplays that you read?
Whether it's on the internet and you just kind of like, look for it. Those are like established screenplays where it's like Leaving Las Vegas or movies that are coming out for Oscars because they would release it by the studios or things like that, or the Blacklist announcements will have that. I also have worked with development for Filmla Entertainment, and where I would cover lots of different screenplays. So I get to see and read tons that aren't produced yet and things like that. So you kind of get a good, or I kind of get a good grasp of what's being out there and what's been done. When you read your favorite screenplays and watch the movies, and I think that's a good start.
Do you watch the movies first, or read the screenplay first, or it varies?
I think it varies, but sometimes I prefer the screenplays because I like to have my own interpretations of that. But there are some that I've read that are just really spot on. But I love reading screenplays. It just kind of flows, and you read enough of them, I guess you could feel, you could really tell the writer's voice. It's cool when you see that and like, oh wow, that really flows. And the way they use alliteration, or there's ways they use their periods, or how they space stuff, or how all these little things. Because there's not much else, but the way you move it is how, it's pretty vital. I think that's the craft of it, and being economical in terms of describing things, and it's so true. I keep going back to these cliches of like arrive late and leave early, that kind of stuff that you always hear, and it's hard to do when you're kind of in that world and focus. So that's why it's good to just get that first draft done, and then just chopping, and you feel if you miss it, and then add it back in,
Do you ever read non-professional screenplays?
Yeah. I think, not as much as recently of things, but I've read, just different friends and things like that, or. Last couple of years, not as much though. A lot have been just from what's out there. So to answer that question, to be honest, I haven't read many non-professional screenplays the last like 3 years or so. Yeah.
What's the difference between an amateur script and a professional script?
They say it's like the first couple pages, and it's the command of that page, the way you intro a character, the way the world is created, the way that you turn the page. That's it. I don't know how, when you read something that makes you want to get up and go put the popcorn in the microwave or go make a toast. That happens with professional screenplays too. There's a lot. It's hard. It's hard to keep someone engaged for how many, like an hour and a half to read that thing. So the difference, I would say, is how they get into the characters, build that world, and have unique voices and make you want to care on the page, that you could feel, you could see the movie in your head. I think that's the thing. You've seen something that you haven't before, versus like, oh, this reminds me of that, or this reminds me of Forrest Gump. But I think when we first started, I'm at fault of it too, is because we're being influenced and being inspired by the things that we like, and it comes into our work. But that's why if you stick to the themes, you stick to how you express those, I think you have something more original, because it's your voice, it's connected to you personally. So that's the answer. It's being personal, because it's something personal to this individual that I want to experience. that I see it on the page. Yeah.
And is that going back to what we talked about earlier, is finding the why?
Yeah, I think
the
so.
script?
Yeah. Why? It's like, hey, why do I want to write this? Because there's layers of stuff, even if it's an allegory to this or parallels. It's a lot of different things, even if it's about space Martians or even it's a Fast and Furious. There's other things involved, why? And then when you actually read something that drives you, it's because that person has made these characters come alive, and you want to know what's going to happen. So I think that's the difference, because it's hard to explain, I guess. But when you read it, you're like, I'm going to go make coffee instead. Versus like when you read something, you're like, wait a second, I'm going to read that. Have you guys ever back even, I took like a lot of English classes, even though I was a business major. I was too lazy to change majors. But I remember reading Jude the Obscure, cut all day, Thomas Hardy book, like just couldn't put it down. It took me a couple days, but I couldn't stop. Now imagine a script, which is 100 pages. So that's the aim and the goal, to have to write something that someone can't put down. Not everyone, there's going to be a lot of people that hate it, a lot of people that love it, but there will be a person that's going to love it and can't put that down. That's the goal, I think.
Right, Judy Blume books. From
Yeah.
couldn't
Just
put them
put
down.
them down.
They were all excellent.
Yeah, definitely.